Mr. Rosen. Start with you, Ms. Gibson. According to the New York Times, an internal report commissioned last year by the Mint found the organization had, their words, a culture problem marked by implicit bias, unfair hiring practices, racial tension. This reporting is extremely troubling to us, and I assume to you. As someone with decades of experience engaging in executive oversight and workforce development, you laid your career out beautifully, I thought. Building inclusive teams within government agencies, you understand the importance of addressing culture issues directly. I know you're new to this agency. I know that report came out. That report was from September. You joined the next month. What have you been doing in the months that you've been acting director in your current capacity to address these issues? What plans do you have to continue this work if confirmed?
Thank you, Chairman, for the question. Since I've joined the Mint in October of last year, and after having digested the report and using it as a pre-decisional document in action planning going forward, I've put in place what I call a blueprint for change. And this is based on my values of fairness, integrity, and trust, because that is so essential to leadership and the trust of the nearly 1,700 Mint employees. That being said, the Blueprint for Change is actually a guide to how we address these unlawful perceptions by employees of discrimination, marginalization, insensitivity, or in fact, in some cases, workplace harassment. I've ensured the development of an anti-harassment policy, and I've laid in place, again, that blueprint, which has a 10-point actual plan that I would be willing to sit down with you and the staff to go over in detail and provide an update on how we're accomplishing making sure we address it. Just two examples, I've created the Office of Chief Equity, the Chief Equity Office, that will look with an eye towards our lens towards equity, and I've hired a consultant to come in and help me make sure I affect change.
Thank you. Mr. Rosen, I'll turn to you. The Assistant Secretary is charged with leading the interagency committee in reviewing certain foreign investments to identify and address national security concerns that those transactions may pose. You outlined well in your opening statement how your previous federal service will inform your work as Assistant Secretary. So my question is this. In FIRMA, Congress recognized the national security implications of foreign investments in U.S. businesses that maintain or collect sensitive personal data. Your work at DHS and the private sector provided opportunities to understand how companies structure transactions in business involving personal data. How will you ensure that CFIUS is reviewing transactions involving sensitive personal data, and what will you consider when reviewing such transactions?
Chairman, thank you for that question and for raising the important issue of sensitive personal data. As you and the ranking member know, this was an issue that was the authorities for which were enhanced in FIRMA, and sensitive personal data now is one of the triggers for reviewing a non-controlling investment. And as we know, with technology and the advent of various technological advancements, sensitive personal data of Americans is everywhere. And it's an issue that FIRMA has rightly focused on. So one of the things that we would do is, of course, in assessing certain jurisdiction of non-controlling investments, look to the statute, look to the factors, and look to whether and to what extent U.S. Sensitive personal data would be exposed, because there's a great concern that our adversaries could get a hold of sensitive personal data. They've done it before, and they're looking to do it to exploit that data on U.S. citizens. And so it's something that, Senator, if confirmed, we would take a very close look at and making sure that we're protecting that sensitive information.
Thank you. Last question, another for you, Ms. Gibson. Since its founding, as the ranking member pointed out, in Philadelphia, the Mint has served the American people by manufacturing, distributing, circulating coins. It's been reported that the coronavirus pandemic caused disruptions to the normal circulation patterns for coins. As we return to normal, if you're confirmed, as we return to normal, businesses reopen to full capacity, describe what the Mint is doing to promote circulation. And as you answer that, just tell us if you're still seeing those disruptions and how you're going to address it.
As you can appreciate, Senator, thank you for the question, sir. The U.S. Mint is an operational arm of the currency that we produce in the United States, and at the Federal Reserve's request, we deliver. and we have delivered all coins requested by the Federal Reserve for distribution to the banks. That being said, we also have looked at what flowback is. We've participated in the U.S. Coin Task Force that made recommendations on how we can get coins back flowing from the nearly 128 million homes that during the pandemic have kind of kept coins without negotiating them through our economy. And we also are looking at, we have a program called Get Coins Moving. I did a press release last week to just out there to as many of the media as possible saying, hey, bring the coins, let's get them back into the economy.
Thank you. Senator Toomey.